Nobody is taught how to be successful in hiring in their college careers, let alone in their corporate careers. Some of us have had fantastic mentors who've shown us the way, demonstrated best practices through their own years of experiences. I've been studying the art of hiring for 24 years. Since I was 16 years old, I literally started writing papers on the subject. I've interviewed over 10,000 job candidates and helped hundreds of companies transform their hiring practices to create a more repeatable, fact-driven hiring system. So today I want to talk about some of the things that you can do as a leader to level up your hiring game, to build dream teams of the Golden State Warriors or the New England Patriots or the greatest organizations that you've seen like Amazon or Netflix, where they've built teams of folks that have transformed the world to do things that have never been done before. So where does it all begin? It starts with you, making it the top priority. As a leader, it's not our job to carry everyone on our back up Mount Everest. It's not our job to come in first and leave last, even if that's personification of being a manager is. It's absolutely the wrong way to be approaching becoming a leader. When you're a kid and you're starting to pick folks for your dodgeball team, what do? You don't pick the worst players, put them on your team, go out there and try to carry the whole game by yourself, right? It's just ridiculous. So you gotta make it a top priority. Otherwise, you will find yourself carrying everybody else on your team up the tallest mountains. The second thing you've gotta do, once you've gotten that mindset, you get it, you've realized doing it all yourself or having a team of C players is just not gonna cut it for you anymore. You've got to practice. It's like anything else in life. You don't just magically get good at it just because you want it. You've got to be dedicated to trial, error, failure, and practicing. You've got to put the effort in. You've got to show up every day. Some simple ways to do that is do more interviews. I find all too often hiring managers, business leaders, HR professionals, they don't interview enough people. And I get it. There's not enough time in the day. You've got a million other things to do. You're too busy carrying everybody up Mount Everest to be able to do one more interview. But that's a wrong mentality. You've got to practice the art of interviewing and hiring. So the other thing you want to begin to get really good at, particularly when it comes to interviewing, and the third thing here is the art of being curious. If there's one thing you learn to become an excellent leader in selecting talent, is being curious. And this is also one of the greatest universal life skills that you can develop, and it's applicable in everything that you do. And so what is the art of being curious? It is a lot what it sounds like. It means we don't make assumptions. We're all biased. We all have a history. We all have a preconceived notion of how things work in this world from our previous experiences. We have to stop ourselves when people are communicating with us. They're telling us about their work history, or they're telling you about a project they're working on, or when your significant other is telling you about their day and they say something that you might be jumping to a bit of a conclusion on. Pause and simply just say, hey, that's interesting. Could you tell me a little bit more about that? Or use your who, why, what, and how type questions. Oh, well, how did you do that? Or why was that so important? It's a real art. It's something that takes conscious effort and more practice to master the art of being curious. If you do that, you're able to really communicate with folks at a different level that makes you excellent at selecting great people. So the other thing that I really recommend for business leaders who want to master hiring, that they believe in building a team, and that they are convinced that being a leader, that hiring and selecting great people to building the ultimate dodgeball team is the most important thing to their success as a leader, is they don't rely on others completely to go and source and find talent for them. That means they become their own headhunter, right? I call it the sniping method. And this is an interesting story. This just happened to me. I had a friend, he's got a food brokerage business. He runs this company. It's very successful. They're growing, leaps and bounds. And he comes to me and he says, hey, I need to hire a new salesperson. How should I do it? And should I hire a recruiter? And I said, well, I'm a recruiter and you can pay me like $30,000 to do that for you. And that could be a worthwhile use of your money and your time if done correctly, but try this first. And so I said, look, go to LinkedIn, you figure out who you want to source, and this is just all part of the best practices in preparing to hire, right? Where do you want to pull your talent from? Do you want to pull it from SpaceX, or do you want to pull it from NASA? Do you want to, who has the talent that you have? And you probably already know, right? If you're an industry expert, you know where the people are, and what companies, what organizations, or what colleges they're coming out of. You know where they're at. So you can go to LinkedIn, you get a Sales Navigator account, you search for those organizations. Maybe as you do that, you identify others that you forgot about. You look for the people holding the roles that you want to hire. Okay, you create that list. It'll literally take you probably 20 minutes to do. And then you just personally reach out to the folks that look like they might be a great fit. And that personal outreach, saying something to them like, hey, I see you've been with your current company for the last 5 years. You must be having some significant success there. I'm wondering if I had an opportunity that might be clearly superior to what you're doing now, would it be worth having a cup of coffee with me? And when they get that from the hiring manager, from the boss, from the owner, from the CEO, it makes it very difficult for them to say, wow, this person recognized my talent and made a personal offer that was genuine and personal to spend a little bit of time. You could even make it a little less softer in the sense of like, hey, I see you're really successful in the role that you're in. I'd love to take you out for a cup of coffee and pick your brain and just learn how you became so good at what you did. That's the beginnings of a great interview. Okay, maybe you have 100 roles to fill. You can't do that for every single position. You can't be your own headhunter. So you embrace your HR and recruiting team, third party, in-house, wherever it is, or maybe you're delegated recruiting to a chief administrator or somebody like that within your organization. Still have to be involved. So the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So these folks are probably competing with multiple other hiring managers within the organization that have equally urgent needs to fill their positions. But the hiring managers, the leaders who spend the time to create really clear job descriptions, to do some homework, to give the recruiters really clear direction on who they're looking for, where to find these folks, and then spend time to recalibrate with them on a weekly basis. A 15-minute conversation. Hey, how's the search going? You brought me these 3 people. They weren't quite the right fit for these reasons. I'd really like to see more of this, and that. Really helps keep them focused, but also keeps them accountable to making sure that they're focused on your priorities and getting them right. Plus, they appreciate the communication. Nobody likes to do their job in a vacuum with zero collaboration or communication. So make it a priority to spend time with your recruiting teams, whoever's doing it for you, to communicate clearly, calibrate, recalibrate, and stay on top of that. All right, there's a handful of really key things that you can do to transform your leadership just by becoming a better talent selector and recruiter within your own world as a leader. Imagine if you found 5 rock stars. They'd be carrying you up Mount Everest. So in our next video, I'm going to share one of my favorite tips for talent evaluation, how you evaluate candidates to make sure 100% confident they're going to be that rock star, not that person you're carrying up the mountain. In our next video, working interviews. This is one of the most overlooked strategies in talent selection, has the biggest impact in whether you get a dud or a rock star. Check out our next video about working interviews, and we'll see you there.